rise and fly, go.
Welcome to 24K reviews, movie reviews, television, and game shows. And games. I have a question for all of you tonight. And it involves this that you see right here in the background. Why the hell is nobody talking about this? Everybody's talking about alien conspiracies. Everybody's talking about military conspiracies, global warming, and everything else. Let me pause this for a quick second. Come on, give me a good one. Come on, give me a good one, show 'em. Hold on, give a good pause real quick. Alright, I'll get back to that in a second. But, for over 35 years, I have been observing this from people. I just noticed this, and I can't explain. Maybe somebody can get a line out to Neil deGrasse Tyson, one of the smartest people in the world, and maybe he can give us a scientific answer for this. I've never seen this with any other movie in my entire life, but it just occurred to me now. Why is it all of us have seen Rocky? We've seen the Rockies 1,000 times. Myself, probably over since the 70s when the first one came out. I would have to say about 1,000 times. Maybe more than that. Why do we always get caught up on whether or not he's gonna win? We know he's going to fucking win. We've seen these movies 1 billion times. Yet I've observed people who knows he's gonna win. It's not a real fight. It is a movie. Sylvester Stallone, you are a genius. And I'm sorry it took me so long to say this. I don't know why grown men, boxing men, sportsmen, UFC men watch this every time and gets caught up in the mat where they're not even paying attention to nothing else. They're leaning up in their chairs and their watches, wondering if Rocky wins. We know he wins. And well, everyone but the first movie. And a draw the second one, but he really won. But anyway, that's besides the point. Myself included, I literally just watched a Rocky clip from Rocky 4. And it's the last fight, the last round, where they're doing the music. You know, that's the slow motion part where they're throwing the punches and it's... You see spit and stuff go flowing over there. It is an amazing thing to literally act with just your body. I've never really thought about the caliber of actor as Sylvester Stallone. I've seen him in 1,000 things, and 1,000 things were cheesy. Demolition Man aside, Throw Mama a Train from the side, Tango and Cash from the side. This is a genius. This should be a historical document in film archives. There should be a study to this movie because psychologically it affects people. I'd never got it before. Like I'm sitting in the bathroom and I'm watching Rocky 4. I've seen it 1,000 times. Yet when the Russian has him on the ropes, Ivan Drago, and he's giving it to him left and right, I'm like, is he gonna lose? What the hell am I doing? See, this is really good writing and really good filmmaking. Sylvester Stallone, my hat's off to you, because I'm not the only one to do it. I've seen almost everybody do it. Everybody who watches these movies, part 3 and part 4 in particular. Clubber Lang, well, I said I'd get back to this part. This is what I'm going to get back right here. DMX, God rest his soul, he is the man known for barking. But, did you ever notice when Clubber Lang backs him into the corner and starts throwing haymakers, he's barking? All you hear is arr, arr, arr. Go back and watch it again. If it wasn't, I'd probably get copyrighted. I would actually play the soundbite for you right here, right now. But he's barking when he's swinging those hands. Now, here's the crazy thing. There's a method acting, and there's people who go beyond the Call of Duty for a role. How many of y'all did y'all know that Sylvester Stallone really wanted to get hit by Ivan Drago, who is an accomplished martial arts and certified black belt fighter? He's actually fought in the ring for real. So in one of the moves, he actually punched Rocky so hard in the chest that his heart got bruised and he went to the hospital. He could have died from that. But this man was dedicated to this movie's craft so friggin' much, he was willing to die for this movie. Sly. Here at the Game Dojo, I gave you a bunch of shit for a bunch of different things. But I admit it. This is like we're in an 8A meeting. Or MM movie. Movie-holics Anonymous. So I'm going to come out to the rest of the world today, so that you hear it from me, myself, the Game Ninja. My name is Rain, the Game Ninja, the owner of 24K Movies and Reviews and TV shows. I am a Sylvester Stallone fan. I am. No shame. I started adding up the movies in my mind, and yeah, he's done some cheesy movies. So has Arnold. So has Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis. They've all done cheesy movies. But I started looking into the deepest parts of Sly. This film series right here, I can't picture another actor in the world doing this. Creed movies aside, I can't picture another actor in Hollywood being able to pull this off. And I hate to tell you this, that's Mr. T. Back in the day, he didn't look like he couldn't fight. He looked like he would fucking rip your head off with one hit. No joke. And in the same movie, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T were both in this movie and both fought Rocky. You don't see Sylvester Stallone in the light of being a real fighter. But when you watch this, you find yourself rooting for him. It's an underdog thing deep inside your nature that wants him to win. You empathize with him. And the crazy part is you get caught up in it every damn time. I saw that movie with Russell Crowe, where he was a fighter. He played James J.D. Braddock's from New Jersey. I think it was called Cinderella Man or Cinderella Story, something like that. That is a good movie. And I like it. It's based in reality. I've watched Tyson fight 1,000 times. They were real fighters. This is Sylvester Stallone. Sly. Mr. Saturday Night Fever. The man who walked by John Travolta. The man who was involved in the Italian stallion culture. And I can't believe that I never admitted it before. I will say Rocky 1, 2, 3, 4, and the first Creed movie. I mean, the second Creed movie wasn't bad. I don't like the fact they cut out Sylvester Stallone out of it. But this needs to be talked about because this is a phenomenon. Why is it every time you watch a Rocky movie, and it's not a guilty pleasure, you watch it because something in you is fighting with something and you need a win. It's like you're winning with Rocky. And the funny part is you catch yourself. You start sitting back watching it and you're like, and then the fight starts going in, and then the music, and then the training montage, and it kind of amps you up, and then you start thinking about working out, then you start thinking about fighting, and then you start thinking about, hey, maybe I could go in there. No, you can't, because it's professional fighting, but it's the same thing with Kung Fu movies. It's the same, whatever pheromone or mental thing that is happening inside us is the same thing happens in Kung Fu movies. You watch Kung Fu movies, you get all riled up like you can go outside and whoop somebody's ass with a spinning back kick and fly across the air and do a double front flip and do a Tommy kick and a side kick and smack the lips off of somebody's face. It's not going to happen. I'm sorry. There's a small chance it could happen. But you're not going to get the glow. You're not going to fight Shonuff. And if you fought him in his prime, this is a movie. If you fought him in his prime, I don't know another boxer in the world psychologically that barks like a dog when they swing their fucking hands at you. I'm not going to play the sound, but I want you to look at how he swings at Sylvester Stallone. If any one of those would have connected. Now remember, this is not a telegraph thing. They actually hit each other with controlled hits. In this movie too. All the movies that he was in, he got hit with controlled hits, but they were swinging. I want you to look at the velocity of Clubber Lang. That's what they called him, Clubber Lang. Look at this. I want you to look at this right here. Besides Carl Weathers. You believe in his face. You believe in his acting. You believe Mr. T just got knocked out. But it didn't happen. What the fuck is going on? This is mind-boggling. We're watching a movie, and we watch tons of movies. Yes, some movies make us cry. Some movies make us feel emotion. Some movies make us move. How is it every single last time you watch this damn movie, you get caught up on whether or not he's gonna win or lose, and you know he wins? You know it here. You know it here. Everyone knows it. What is going on with us? Bro. And part 4 in particular is probably one of the best in the series, because Carl Weathers dies from being hit with a punch. He literally gets killed in a Rocky movie. Bro, he gets murdered in the ring by Ivan Drago. The Rocky movies have everything: suspense, drama, love, emotion, hate, anger. It even digs into the strongest facets of relationships. There's a moment in Rocky 4 where he's arguing with Adrian. This is after Carl Weathers, Apollo Creed, was killed in the ring. And she's his support structure. If you've watched part 1, 2, and 3, she's his support structure. It was her, Mickey, her brother, and before that, after that, it was Carl Weathers. That was his support structure. Carl Weathers died. Mickey died. His brother-in-law really wasn't the best. I mean, he tried. Paulie tried. But she was his everything. She was his rock. She was his standing fist. And when he tells her that he has so much fear inside that he has to fight Drago or he'll never have balance in his life, she looks at the man that she loves, she believes in, and says, "You can't win." At his bottom, his rock fucking knocked his feet from underneath him. You can't win. And the funny part is rather than him hearing what she said, because she was afraid he was gonna die. It's the same thing that happened in Cinderella Man, because Max Baer had killed a person in the ring, and it was a good chance that Brad X would have died in the ring if he got hit with the right punch. It happens. The connecting tissue knocks loose from your brain. You can die in the ring. It happens in boxing. It has happened in boxing. But what he says back to her in that moment is one of the strongest things I think I've ever heard a man say to a woman. He says, "Maybe I can't win. Maybe you're right. But why would you say that? I can't win without you." And he says, "But if he's going to beat me, he has to stand in front of me. And to stand in front of me, he has to be willing to die himself, like me. And I don't think he's willing to die." And the funny part is that little grain is what he based that entire fight on. He believed inside that Ivan Drago didn't want it enough to die for it. And that's the only reason why Rocky won. You see, Apollo Creed took it as a joke, took Ivan Drago as a joke, and was doing his bullshit for his money because he thought it was just a bouting expedition, and he thought that. He didn't understand that man didn't come to play, that man came to fight. He was a real fighter. And he lost his life because Apollo wasn't willing to die. That's why he didn't have it. If Apollo had trained for that fight for real and saw it as a real fight, he probably would not have died. But at the end, when Rocky is fighting him and they're going through all the rounds, Rocky has Russia against him. He's in a hostile area with hostile people that hate him. He has no support structure. He doesn't have Mickey. He doesn't have Apollo. He doesn't have anything on his side besides the belief in himself that he's willing to die in the ring to prove he's not afraid of Ivan Drago. Do you hear how deep that shit is? This is a boxing movie. You hear how deep that shit really goes. And at the very cusp of him wanting to give up, because he does get to a breaking point, Adrian shows up, his rock. And she's willing to see him die in a ring for something he believes in. That shit chokes me up every time. That is a real woman loving a real man, and a real man loving a real woman. That shit should bring you to tears. Two people against the world. He was willing to die. She wasn't willing to lose him. But when she saw what he was fighting for and that he could not be stopped, even with the world against him, she stood by his side, knowing that he could die, but knowing that only she could give him the ability to win. This is a fucking Rocky movie. Rocky! I can't tell you how many times I've watched that movie and damn near been in tears. Damn near been in tears over a Rocky movie. And it don't matter how many times you watch it. The relationships and the correlations in that movie, that boxing movie, is just as strong as any drama movie I've ever seen in my entire life. And it doesn't get half the credit that it should. Which is why I decided to do tonight, long overdue, Sylvester Stallone. Somehow, someway, if you ever see this, understand me. I am a fan of you. You are fucking awesome. I'm sorry I didn't see it in so many ways. I love your Rambo movies. I love Tango and Cash. I love Cobra. I love Daylight. I love Cliffhanger. I love the movies that you did. But emotionality wise, the only one that's brought me to tears has been your Rocky series. Which is why it's so fucked up that they cut you out of the last one. I feel you on that. 1,000,000,000%. But here, in my game dojo, here on this channel, we gonna do right by you. Which is why in the year of our Lord 2023, we're giving the Rocky franchise, and I'm gonna include all of them. I'm not gonna include some. I'm not gonna include points in there because there are points in there in all of them, including the Tommy Morrison one, including with your son. There's points in there between all of them that are great, strong, powerful moments, even in the Creed ones. But your series, your Rocky series, fucking platinum. I'll give you the highest we can go. Fucking platinum. And I can't explain it. I still can't explain it emotionally why it chokes you up over a boxing movie. There's not another sports movie or boxing movie in the world that brings you to tears. And you know you're gonna win. But dude, you watch the world beat the shit out of this guy. He comes from nothing. He has nothing. And he takes nothing and turns it into something. And I think that's where it resonates with a lot of us. Because a lot of us see ourselves as nobodies. And we identify with him as the nobody. And if a nobody can take shit and turn it into shit, there's hope for us. And that's what these movies do. They inspire. I just got it. It inspires the human spirit to fight back against all odds. Even if it kills you. Sylvester Stallone, thank you for your Rocky movies. I love your Rambo movies, don't get me wrong. I love your catalog of work. I do. Demolition Man is one of my favorite films of all time. You and Wesley Snipes, even though he looks like a big version of Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone with the blonde hair. I'm just sorry I've never given you the credit due you from a movie standpoint. Platinum, bruh. Platinum. The Rocky franchise is dedicated to my hard drive. And every once in a while, you just gotta watch it. It's not a guilty pleasure. It's something you want to see. And a lot of people don't even realize that first movie, he didn't win. They so caught up with Rocky winning in all his movies, they don't realize that that first Rocky movie, he absolutely does not win. But he comes back. He doesn't give up. When Mr. T beats the shit out of him, and I mean, wow. Mr. T beat him, like before the match, he went into his wallet and took out $20 and he saw him. Like, Mr. T had something personal against Rocky. He literally came onto his woman, he pushed Mickey and Mickey died before the fight. Like, that was some fucked up shit, but that's real boxing drama. I didn't get it. Like, we watch Rocky movies because we think they're fun and exciting and entertaining, and they are all of that. But there's a deep fucking life lesson in these movies. The only other movie I ever cried on that was a fighting movie, and like I said, bro, tears get a bad rep. I don't care. I'll let you know. I'm not made of stone. Brother got a heart. There's some movies that will get me teared up in, but I'll go into them another day. The other one that does that to me, because I said I would tell you, is Best of the Best, Part 1. I'm sorry, brother ain't made of stone. When they gave the medals back to the Americans because they realized they cheated them, and your boy Dahan killed Tommy's brother, even though he knew that shit, bro. Oh my God, brother was bawling in tears. So anyway, from the Game Dojo, I just had to do this because this weighed on my heart. I watched Rocky, and I don't know why I got caught up in it. I'm humming the music, I'm watching the training, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on with me? Like, I know he wins. So why is there anxiety in me watching him fight Drago? I know he wins. Yet and still, it's one of those great mysteries of the world. From 24K Movies, thank you. This is an awesome one. This is one of the best ones I've done in a while. Platinum. Pure platinum. Rocky franchise. Go watch it. Rent it. Buy it on DVD or Blu-ray. Hell, download it. But I guarantee you, once you start, if you've never seen a Rocky movie before, I can't tell you what you're missing, because you are missing a volume of life emotions. It's not just a boxing film at all. It's the story of how somebody like us can do what we were born to do and achieve greatness. From 24K, I'm the Game Ninja. Thank you, Sylvester Stallone, for the Rocky franchise. I can't see another actor in the world in that role, and that's why you, sir, are 24K.